Let me call the meeting to order. Mr. Brown, will you do the invocation for us, please? If you'll.
Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for this beautiful day here in North Georgia, and just thank you for your many blessings that you've given us. Just be with this meeting tonight, be with all the leaders of this community, and just be with the city of Fort Oglethorpe. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Mr. Crawford, you going to lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is the reading of the minutes of the previous council meeting, the February 24th meeting. The members of council have had an opportunity to review that. Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Have a motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Ms. Stanton. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carried unanimous. Next item on the agenda, communications from the mayor. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody here. It's good to have everybody here. The weather's pretty. I'm surprised everybody's not out cutting grass, working in the yard, and staying away from here. But we're glad you own this city, and we're glad you're here. So welcome to the city council meeting. So on a sad note, Lewis Ham, who served 8 years on the city council, his mother passed away Sunday, and visitation will be at Wilson Funeral Home Tuesday from 5 to 8. So everybody have Lewis in your prayers. So well, my lucky, I think you're going to be. You got the floor.
Well, lucky. Do I need to give my address, Mr. Goulart? Okay. I'm the election superintendent for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, and I'm bringing an updated report to the council on pertaining to the election and the change of the precinct. When we have what we call the general election, which is the one that's normally like in November, or if it's a special election, it's the one that's in like the end of March, in March the 18th, 15th, or whatever. It's called the general election. But instead of having that election at Constitution Hall, it has been moved to the City Hall. We have 3 weeks of early voting at City Hall. So bringing that election into City Hall will make it more convenient, less confusing when we have, for instance, this primary. They have state, county, state, and federal elections going on. And I would have to separate my election if I was having one. I could not have it in the same building. I had to have separate people and separate machines. So if we have everything here, we won't have to go against that anymore. And we've had to do that at least 3 times in the recent 3 years. And also, we don't have to move all of our equipment over. And at the end of the election, we tally the votes, and it makes it. We have to take everything, all of our ad machines and everything, and it's just a better move. And they have already been put into. That has already been put into the system. They were supposed to have mailed out. They is the state. We're supposed to mail out new registration cards week before last. They forgot to put all of the address on them, so they had to reprint them. There goes our money, more taxes. And so they've printed them now 3 times. So they've promised them to us that they would get to us. When I say us again, that's myself and Ringo, this week. And And that will also tell where to go vote, which for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, it would be in City Hall. And for the Walker County people, it would be in City Hall. And then all they would have to do, for their county elections, go to their normal places in Walker County. So I'm hoping they do come in this week so that they can go out after they have been received, and before the next election. I am required to put notice in the paper for the 2 weeks preceding the election. And then I also have to put up 3 signs. And so I will be putting those signs at Constitution Hall, Lakeview, and West Side. And that's where those people would have been coming from, or will be coming from. So that's how it stands. They're in the system, and it's on the go and everything. What I gave you tonight, I gave this out earlier, but I added some things to it. One of them is the letter that I wrote to the state showing what I had done, the steps I had taken, and then I sent copies, and you have that on there. I also have been in communication with Barbara Berry over at Walker County, and I work with her. We have almost 300 people in Fort Oak, in the city now, that live in Walker County. So it used to be like 8, and we'd have 1 person to vote. And now they're more and more being built, more people are aware of it. And and there was also a page in the front. The new, and I don't mean new in the sense that you don't know what's been going on, but Paula and Craig, for your benefit, I have added what I gave to the first round, and there's a page where it shows my eligibility, how I'm appointed. I'm an appointed official, and that's why I'm reporting to you, because I have to report to you of things, because you're my boss. No, I don't put it that way, but basically you are. And then also I made a copy of the letter so you know what I had done, and I've done everything by the book. Do you all have any questions for me?
Anyone have any questions?
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, do they have any
Do what?
questions for me? I'm supposed to address you, and I'm sorry. I'm supposed to ask you if you all have any questions.
Anyone have any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Lucky.
Well, one of the few years we haven't had an election unless anything comes up between now and the end of the year, but I'll be ready for them. Thank you very much.
You do a good job. Next item, executive session. Mr. Stoltz, do we have anything today?
No, sir.
Next item, zoning matters, none. Ordinances, 3rd and final reading. You going to do those, Mr. Stoltz, or city manager?
Mr. Goodlord.
Mr. Goodlord.
Thank you, sir. This is ordinance number 2014-01, amendment to the Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia Code of Ordinances, Part 2, Chapter 2.4, subsection 8. Whereas it is hereby ordained by the governing authority of the city of Fort Oglethorpe that Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia Code of Ordinances, Part 2, Chapter 2.4, subsection 8 is hereby amended as follows. The old section is Public Works, Streets, Water, and Sewer. The new section will be, Section 8 will be Water and Sewer.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Gray,
Second.
second by Mr. Crawford. Any further discussion? Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Ms. Stenney?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Motion carried unanimous. Next item on the agenda, third and final reading ordinance 2014-02. Mr. Goulart.
Ordinance number 2014-02, amendment to Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia Code of Ordinances, Part 2, Chapter 2.4, subsection 7, whereas it is hereby ordained by the governing authority of the city of Fort Oglethorpe that Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia Code of Ordinances, Part 2, Chapter 2.4, subsection 7 is hereby amended as follows. The old section was Department of Parks and Recreation. The new section on this third and final will be Streets, Parks, and Recreation.
Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Crawford. Is there a
Second.
Second by Ms. Stennett. Any further discussion? Mr. Crawford.
Yes.
Mr. Gray.
Yes.
Ms. Stennett.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
Motion carried unanimous. Next item on the agenda, third and final reading of ordinance 2014-03. Mr. Goulart.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, this is the ordinance number 2014-3. It's the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia Charter Amendments. This is the amendments that was the recommendation by the city's Charter Review Committee that has been on file here in the office of the clerk and also the Superior Court clerk, and this is the third and final reading.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion dies for lack of a motion. Next item on the agenda, second reading, Mr. 2014-4. Mr. Goulart.
Ordinance number 2014-04, rezoning. Be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and it is hereby ordained by the authority thereof, that the following property owned by Ted Moss Volunteer LLC, known as map and parcel number 0002001700C, Heritage Woods subdivision, is hereby rezoned to a R3 zoning.
All right, that's second reading. We don't vote on it. Next item, second reading, ordinance 2014-5. Mr. Goulart.
Ordinance number 2014-05. This is subdivide. Be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and it is hereby ordained by the authority thereof, that the following property owned by Ted Moss Volunteer LLC, known as map and parcel number 00020017000C, Heritage Wood subdivision, be subdivided into 57 lots. That's the second reading, and there'll be a public hearing on these two at our next meeting.
All right, thank you, Mr. Goulart. Next item, second reading of ordinance 20-14-6. Mr. Goulart.
Ordinance number 2014-06. This is an amendment to the zoning ordinance and amendments thereto. Whereas Article 17 under C2 General Commercial District is hereby amended as following. The old section under Section 17.7 is the minimum non-impervious areas. The old section states that multifamily and non-residential areas in C2 districts shall have a minimum 30% of the gross acreage set aside as open space and shall provide recreational areas within said open space. The new section, that one will be deleted. The new section 17.7, minimum non-impervious areas, commercial non-residential areas in C2 districts shall have a minimum 15% of the gross acreage set aside as open space. Multifamily areas in C2 districts shall have a minimum of 30% of the gross acreage set aside as open space and shall provide recreational areas within said open space.
Thank you, Mr. Goulart. First reading 2014-07. Mr. Goulart.
Okay, this is ordinance 2014-07. It's amendment to the Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia Code of Ordinances, Part 2, Chapter 2.38. This deals with the order of business. The current order of business, which is the old, is number 1 is call to order, number 2 the invocation, number 3 reading of the minutes, number 4 communication from the mayor, number 5 executive session. Now what will change is in the new one, number 5 executive session will be moved to the rear. It'll be item number 14. It will occur just before adjournment. And the rationale for that is so that individuals are not forced to sit out here in the waiting room or in the council room while we're in executive session before the meeting really starts, so they can hear the business, and if they don't want to stay for the executive session, they may leave.
Thank you, Mr. Goodlard. Next item on the agenda, resolutions. There is none. Unfinished, there is none. Next item on the agenda, new business. Proposed approval of accounting software support agreement. Mr. Goodlard.
That's correct. We currently have a Cassell accounting software, and the company that we have that through is no longer authorized to offer that service. So I'm recommending that we enter into the contract direct with Cassell. In addition, as you know, we now have to bill our Tennessee American customers for their sewer usage. They will provide the Cassell plus a new system where we can do our water bills, plus they will give us the new system after 1 year. The agreement calls for a fee of $1,200 a month, and we would recommend approval of that.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Smith.
Second.
Second by Ms. Stinnett. Any further discussion? Mr. Crawford.
Yes.
Mr. Gray.
Yes.
Ms. Stinnett.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
Motion carried unanimous. Next item on the agenda, convey surplus chipper. Almost said chipper to the Catoosa County government. Mr. Goulart.
Yes, sir. This is a chipper that's not been in operation for quite some time. Recently the county gave us a grade-all. We've communicated with them, and we would recommend that you convey this to the county. They will put it in a state of repair, and it'll be operational. Anytime we want to borrow it, we can.
Is there a motion to approve this transfer to the county?
Make a motion.
Have a motion by Mr. Crawford to approve this. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gray. Any further discussion? Mr. Gray.
Yes.
Mr. Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Stinnett.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
Motion carried unanimous. Next item on the agenda, approve extending PM zoning at Lakeshore Cove for a 1-year period. Mr. Goulart.
Mr. Mayor, I'd ask the council to strike that from the agenda.
Okay, it's done. Next item on the agenda, city manager's report. Mr. Goulart.
Sir, I don't have anything at this time. I can tell you that we did go to the meeting on the $3 million grant, and I would expect at the next meeting that Jeff Long will be able to give you in detail a report of the progress.
Okay. Jeff and I spoke for about an hour. I was supposed to go, scheduled to go, and I was sick and didn't make it. We're going to spend about 18 months doing all the paperwork and all the getting ready, and it'll take about 6 months to actually build the highway, which is a $3 million ARC grant, the largest ARC grant that's ever been awarded in the state of Georgia. And it's going to be a beautiful little stretch of road from the north end of the park to the interchange of Battlefield Parkway and Chickamauga Avenue. It's going to open up a commercial corridor that's going to look like a little Savannah, and it's going to really be nice. And Jeff was not going to be here tonight, or I was going to let Jeff talk on that. Jeff and I spoke. It's going to be done in 3 phases. It's going to work out. It's going to be a beautiful stretch of the road. And I hate that I was sick and didn't make the meeting. GDOT will do all the contracts. We're going to take the politics out of the contracts for the first time, and GDOT will do all 3 from the get-go. So, City Council comments. Mr. Smith.
Yes, I want to thank Craig and Chick-fil-A for your kindness, Mayor and Council. And I don't want to go thanking individual because I'll miss somebody, but you know if you were there. Thank you. My wife, it was really something upbeat for her. And I appreciate everything that was done. It just really, I mean, it's very humbling, and I appreciate what you've done, what they have done. I'll never forget it. Thanks.
Anything further, Mr. Smith?
No.
Ms. Stenney.
Yes, sir. 2 things. First, I received a citizen's complaint regarding police cars being parked in the median during school zone hours early before daylight. And I did consult the city attorney regarding were the officers doing anything that was incorrect, and the answer was no. On behalf of myself as a city council member, as a teacher and a mother, I would like to applaud Fort Oglethorpe's finest for doing so, and would love to see school zones no tolerance zone for speeding during the times when those lights are flashing. Secondly, the volunteer fair is coming up on us. It will be Thursday, the 20th, from 2 until 6 at the 6th Cavalry Museum. Currently, you can go to the website and download the nonprofit agency profile for volunteer help if you are with a nonprofit agency and would like to solicit some volunteers. Thus far, we have heard from Habitat for Humanity, the ARC Resale Shop, the Center for Hope, Legacy Link. Again, I'd like to extend this offer. If you have a high school student, grandparents, parents, you will want to take advantage of this because all college, university, scholarship applications do ask the volunteer service that your student has been involved with. So take advantage of this. If you need any further information, please contact Chris McKeever at the 6th Cavalry Museum. And that's all, sir.
Is that it?
That's it, sir.
Mr. Gray.
I have nothing, sir.
Mr. Crawford, I think you've got something.
Yes, sir. Actually, I'm going to have a special guest tonight to take care of my comments. It's Dr. Lamar Brown at the Catoosa County Performance Learning Center. He's going to take 5 or 10 minutes to explain what happens there. In life, God has a reason for people to cross paths. And Coach Brown, what I call him, he was my high school football coach at Ridgeland. He's also been the former coach at Ringgold High School as well as Notre Dame, and he's been the principal at Ringgold Middle School. Today we coach our sons together in Little League Baseball, and I consider him a close friend. But what he does at Catoosa County Performance Learning Center is unbelievable, and I've witnessed it firsthand while serving on the partnership program there. He'll be stepping down in June and taking over the position at Student Services for Catoosa County School System, which is formerly held by Jack Sims. And if you don't know where it's at, it's the old Fort Oglethorpe Elementary, and it's been called alternative school, jail. I've heard it called that. I've heard it called several things. But I just want people to understand what's happening in our community. So, Dr. Brown.
Hello, it's an honor to be here tonight. I'm very proud to share about what goes on at the Catoosa Performance Learning Center. I see some familiar faces in here that's been there before, and Anyway, so we're in the old Fort Oglethorpe Elementary School. Let me put a plug in for that while I'm here. I've been there for 5 years, and I've never had anyone walk in that building that had a son or daughter or went there that just didn't smile when they were in the building. I mean, everyone has great memories of that building and of that school. So anyway, in 2004, the Catoosa Performance Learning Center started. Up until from 1994 to 2004, it was called the Crossroads Academy, and that was where they put students who were in trouble. Okay, but in 2004, the model changed. So now we're a non-traditional high school of Catoosa County. Our students are not there because they're in trouble. They're there because they have troubles. Something's gone on in their life to cause them to need to be in a smaller school environment, to be surrounded by adults that care about them, to work at a different method. We are a technology-based school. In other words, they work on the computer about 80% of the time, and then they work on projects and whatnot the other 20% of the time. It's not like when we were all in school where somebody stood up and talked the whole time. You remember those days? Okay, it's not like that. So it's where students can earn credits faster. They can earn credits, they have to meet all the Georgia standards, but they can do it at a faster pace. It's not like when we were in school again, where you sat there from August to December in the class, even if you knew everything there was to know in the class. Do you remember feeling that way some? Even if you knew more than the teacher knew. I mean, so now as soon as they meet the standards, they can move on to another class. 4 years ago, we expanded from 80 students to 120. And so when we did that, we said, what would we need to do to make it where people would want to come to school there? So what we did was we went to a 4-day week, Monday through Thursday, and also we brought in an additional math teacher. 91% of our students have failed Math 1 when we get them. And we work hard. We've got a great math teacher there, and we brought in another teacher that's her assistant. So we have 2 math teachers in our classroom. Our class size is approximately 20. Okay, and so that's the largest you would ever find in a class. Our students can go to school from 8:30 to 2:45. They can attend school 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock, or they can attend school 12:05 to 5:20. So our teachers are there every day till 5:20. What we're trying to do is meet the students where they are. A lot of our students would work full time, so they come early in the morning, and some students work the morning shift, so they come to school 12:05 to 5:20. We do house the Gateway program at our school, and that's for students who have been in trouble. There's about 20 students there that are in trouble. They're in an isolated room in the back. They enter in through another door, and they are all transported on another bus. So we don't have this. Our students are not there because they're in trouble. Our students are still under their homeschool umbrella. So a Ringgold student would still graduate with Ringgold, go to the prom at Ringgold, could be on the ball teams at Ringgold. We've got a boy that's going to be signing with Northwestern Georgia Community College in a few days to play basketball. He played at LFO, but he goes to our school, but he's still under the LFO umbrella. And he's actually going to do his signing at the PLC, Craig, which is a big day for us. Last year, we graduated 78 students at our school. Now, this is an unscientific number I'm about to give you, but if you looked at them, probably 60 of the students would not have graduated without having this form of education. Now, you may sit there and go, whoa, big deal, big deal. Well, every dropout impacts a community at a rate of $298,000 over the course of a lifetime. That's anti-poverty programs. That's the judicial system. That's people being incarcerated. If you go down to Catoosa County Jail right now, you'll see a bunch of people that were at our school or these other schools, and they dropped out. So 60 students, multiply that, 60 students times $298,000, and that's why it's such a great place. We're really, Craig said it, we're really saving lives over there. And that's kind of our mission that we have. But if you ever want to stop by sometime, we'll show you around. Every Monday we have morning motivation where we have a guest speaker. every Monday. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we walk around Barnhart Circle. You ever walked around Barnhart Circle? What a beautiful place to walk around every Tuesday and Thursday. And then every Wednesday, we do advisement. So we do a lot of things that are non-traditional. We're a non-traditional high school, and when you drive by there, you know, whenever you go by there, just know there's great things going on there. And also remember, people aren't there because they're in trouble. Because when you go home tonight or go and call somebody and say, yeah, we had the principal from the PLC at the meeting tonight, they'll say, oh, isn't that where the students go that are in trouble? Well, no, it's not. It's students that are just need help and that are need a non-traditional school. So anyway, come by and see us sometime. Thank you, Mayor, for letting us speak tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Citizens petitions, we have nobody no citizens petitions tonight. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Let's go home.